Where's the church standing today? Where is it really standing based upon fruit, upon faith by works? Where's it standing at right now with just those two tests? Where is people standing? Where are we standing? Are we testing? And it's wonderful to know that we're getting a mid-semester report card before the final one comes. Because after we're dead and gone, there's no changing it. That report card's final. That's final. That record's finalized. It's either passed or failed. It's a stamp on it, passed or failed. You either in or out, and you ain't no changing it. But ain't it great? I think that's wonderful. But there's a lot of people that, I'll be honest with you, the Lord has showed me they don't want to hear it. They want to stay in their comfort zone. This is the way it's been done before. And I'm convinced that the people before me has went to heaven, and I know this is the way, and that's the way I'm going to go. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't convinced that a lot of them's in heaven. I'm not.
It's hard after you stand under something like that all these years. And if you kind of like clear and you're on this different, and we're supposed to do different, it's hard sometimes to get out of that. But you've been taught to really get the budget. You think, well, that's the way they've done. And you think that was right, because that's the way they've been done all these years,
Yeah.
It is hard to look at it some other way.
But, based upon Scripture, that's all I'm trying to say. And that's the way I try to run the church. That's the way I try to look at everything. That's the way, and I'm not saying I don't make mistakes, but based upon Scripture, based upon what he's saying here, where's people standing at? And the ones before us. And it's not like, I'm trying to judge. I'm just trying to say that a lot of people's going on that. They're going on their parents or grandparents or whoever it is and convinced that they made it to heaven. Whenever, I know of some that darted the door of the church about once a year, and it wasn't that they wasn't able, because I'd seen them out places. I'd seen them out and doing things that they couldn't even come to church. So, did they make it? No, I'm not trying to be their judge. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to be their judge. But based on the Word, they're on shaky ground. They're on real shaky ground. And all we can do is pray that the mercy of God, it will take over and grab hold of it. But this, all I'm trying to give is exactly what the Lord is showing me, and this is Word. This is absolutely what He said. But I think that prior teachings and preachings before I don't know why God didn't go that way, or why He allowed it and let the churches, I guess, just let it go in that manner. But why was this not taught before? I don't know. I don't know why He didn't allow, or was it being taught and people wouldn't listen? I don't know. I can't tell you. No. But it's obvious to me that what He's saying here, and it's obvious to me for the biggest part, that we're not doing it. And that's why we're suffering. Mm-hmm.
We preach to, and they just wouldn't get it either.
Yeah.
Now it's for us, and see if we're going
to get it. And that's what I've tried to stress to one of our church members that's having such a hard time with trying to help people. She just has a hard time with it. She really has a compassionate heart, wants to help people, but can't. It just destroys her when she can't help them. And I told her, I said, it's like I had to learn several years ago. You gotta keep going. There's some people that it just got to wait. You got to be patient. You got to wait until God is ready to show them, or they're ready to open up their eyes. They're ready to see for themselves. And some of them may never. But you can't let it hold you back, because you're going to be responsible no matter, even if there's 1,000 people you're working with that you can't help. you got your own soul salvation that you got to go on with. And you've got to continue to help yourself. You've got to continue, no matter if they'll listen or won't, or they keep calling and won't listen to what you got to say. What else can we do? All we can do is help. And then like he told them, he said, if they don't want to listen, dust your feet off and go on. Don't tarry. There's too many out there. The fields are ripe and ready for picking. Go get them. Go get them. But we can't pick them because we're not ready. We're not following them. And that's why today churches that are really following the Word are not growing right now. Why? Because we haven't got it all down yet. We haven't got it right yet. Until we can get this, until we can have faith by works, until we can start glorifying in the midst of the storms, in the midst of the trials, then I think we're going to have a hard time convincing. I think we are. And then the next thing is, one of the major problems believers face is following tradition. Just like the Jews did with arguing with Jesus in Matthew 15, 1 through 9. Then came to Jesus the scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, Why do you transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father and mother, let him die the death. But ye say, Whosoever shall say to his father and mother, It is a gift by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honoreth not his father and mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. Ye hypocrites, well did Elias prophesy of you, saying, This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. So that's what he's saying, that tradition will make the commandments of God none effect. What's he saying? There's many Pentecostal churches that have dress codes. And if people don't follow that dress code, they'll pretty much throw them out. They won't let them do things. They pretty much tell them they don't want them in the church. And ain't that kind of breaking the second commandment? Making the commandment, that's what he's saying. Tradition will make the commandments of none effect. The commandments of God of none effect. He's saying you can't love your neighbor as yourself if you're going to go back there and cast them out of your church, or you're going to go back there and put them down. So if you let tradition dictate and you teach tradition, then you're making the commandments of God of none effect. And you look, seriously, we have many churches in our area and across this world that have these traditions. And when you look at them, there ain't no love in them, are they? I mean, they're like, bless their hearts, they're miserable. And if you don't have the dress that they are or the actions that they got, you don't have a chance, according to them. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. So what they're doing, they're making the commandments. And he said, the only way you'll be my disciple is love. So they're making what God says of none effect because of tradition. Because of tradition. So that's just one. So how many other traditions have we picked up, like we said, talking about after the fact we testify about it? When he's saying, the Bible's saying, in the midst of the fiery trial, lift me up. In the midst, that's where you glorify me at. And when you're in the middle of it, and you don't feel like it, and you're in terrible shape, and things don't look, it looks hopeless, and you lift me up, then you glorify me. That's when you really glorify me. And people think it's after, when he's paid the electric bill, that you're glorifying. But he's saying, no, you glorify me when it's in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.